Pictures up.
Let's go, baby.
Our Way Out, episode 23.
Action.
Hi everyone, my name is David. Welcome to Our Way Out. Thank you for being here today. This episode is special for us because this is the first time we have an audience. This is the first time we're going live. And Our Way Out, what we're about is we focus on true transformation, second chances, and the journey that has shaped us to the men that we are today. And with that, I want to introduce Jeremy.
Hello, everyone. Like he said, this is our first time being in front of viewers and our first tour ever. And the way we started off, we all got second chances. We were all system impacted. We started hanging out at our Boston's house, Jersey. I'm sure you guys met. And we started sharing our stories when we go and hang out at Jersey's house. And we'll talk about like our stories and like how we overcame a lot of obstacles in our lives that brought us into the system, and being able to get a second chance. And Jersey loved our stories, and he was like, we need to highlight these stories, and you guys should be inspiring the next generation, and letting people know that second chances are worth it and will be taken for granted. So with that being said, pass it to Tristan.
What's up, everyone? My name's Tristan. Like my brothers before said, we like to highlight those that are doing positive things with their second chances that they've gotten in life. And over time, we've had a lot of guests on here that have done a lot of great things. And today, we have another great guest who, at a very young age, was sentenced to life in prison, you know? So he's out now and he's doing wonderful things with his life, big things. And he was also featured in the movie They Call Us Monsters. So we'd like to show you guys a little short clip of that so you could kind of see where he came from. And with that, can we roll that?
Spice it up a little. Hotel California. You can check in anytime you want, but you can never leave.
Tonight's special, underage criminals robbing and raping people in the streets.
There are no violent offenses that are juvenile. You shoot somebody, you're an adult.
These are our evil people, the mini Charlie Mansons.
I'm facing 200-something years before attempted murders.
You can tell you right now you're lying. No doubt in my mind that you shot.
And the judge ruled in my favor. You're gonna go home.
He's using crystal again, I'm sure.
Front passenger pulled out a gun and said, "You're gonna die today, bitch."
They really was supposed to. They really was.
Are you high?
Is there one story that you'd like to tell? The loss of innocence?
If they tell me I'm never gonna get out again, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Lights, please. So without further ado, we'd like to introduce you guys to our friend, our brother, the one and only Jared Nava.
So welcome, Jared, to Our Way Out. It's an honor to have you here. For me, it's a trip because I met Jared in prison after the juvenile hall, and once you came to the yard that we were at, you were like a completely different person. You were like more mature, and I think we bonded over the fact that we're both men of God. And so Jared, can you talk to us a little bit about your journey in the system and how you were able to come home after a life sentence.
Yeah, absolutely, and thanks for having me on, you guys. I really appreciate it. I'm honored to be a guest. I've been watching all the episodes. I'm a fan. I'm an avid watcher, and you guys have had some phenomenal people on so far. And yeah, so for me, like, you know, it's always surreal hearing the clip from the documentary about, like, if they tell me I'm never gonna go home, I don't know how I'm gonna handle that. And that's exactly what happened. I got sentenced to 162 years to life, and I think it was hard to really understand what that meant. At 18, when I lost trial and I got that time, I was just trying to process what that meant. And at the time I was in the county jail, I got transferred out of the compound. And to be honest, like, I was trying every drug and alcohol, whatever I could, to numb myself of feeling, you know, the weight of that sentence. And then I got transferred to reception. And I kind of, you know, to be honest, like, I kind of tried to find identity in that sentence in the beginning. I tried to, like, have it as my badge of honor. Like, I got all this time. Like, I'm a lifer. Like, this is, you know, like, being around certain people, like, you know, you would hear, like, this mentality of, like, this is our house as lifers and people are just coming and going. And so I tried to adopt that. But as I sat in reception and just really no program, I started to read the Bible. And it really started to just reveal who I truly was, you know, and reveal that that wasn't me, and that, like, this fake facade and this person I was trying to act like wasn't really me. And I finally had the courage, by the grace of God, to let the homies know, like, hey, I'm gonna serve God. Like, I didn't really know what that was gonna look like. I didn't know if you really could do that or not, but I just felt fake when I would introduce myself by what they used to call me. And so I embarked on that journey, and when I got to Ironwood and I met David and a few other people, it was a new journey. It was the journey of starting this life sentence and what that would look like. And you know, I was sharing with David before, it's like it was hard, and it was a challenge at 19 years old when I finally hit that yard of telling people, you know, my name, Jared, and they're looking for more. They're looking for Ann, you know, and yeah, and I'm like, nah, I'm a man of God, like, I'm serving God. And it was just like, you know, some people didn't respect that. And there was a solid group of people who did respect that and definitely supported me in that journey. And there's so many things that could have happened, you know, from that first day to me being here. And I think just ultimately it was staying consistent with that decision and that choice that I made, I think ultimately led to me being able to get a second chance.
Yeah, because I know it ain't easy for a lifer to come home. What were some of the obstacles that you faced trying to get out? Or what opportunity did you get to be able to come home? Because at some point you were like, in your mind, this world out here was already, like, you weren't part of it, right?
Right. And I think, you know, at that age, like, being young, I think it was easier, because I think back now, like, now that I'm 30, like, I think back what, like, I couldn't imagine doing a week or a day in a holding cell today, right? Yeah, but at that time, some of the hurdles were different. It was just trying to acclimate and kind of get used to this is going to be my life and what that looked like, and starting to build a routine, you know, working out, getting a job. Like, there was some of those things, but it definitely was like the daily challenge of just growing up in the violence, just growing up. And, you know, like I've said before, like, when I talked on different things, is like, I think I definitely underestimated some of the challenges and the burdens just because I was so grateful to get a second chance. Right. But I mean, prison definitely was chaotic. You know, there was a lot of things that were just abnormal that you just get desensitized to because you're young and you're trying to just survive, and just in that survival mode, like,
you get institutionalized.
You get institutionalized for sure.
Yeah, what was it that gave you that second chance? Like, how did your sentence go from life to whatever, so many years to you being able to get out? What allowed that?
Yeah, so in Ironwood at the time, there was two guys, one by the name of Raul Zarate and Johnny Rodriguez, who filed a commutation. And I never heard of a commutation before, but they filed for a commutation and they ended up getting granted a reduced sentence by the governor. And so I did the same thing. They were like, hey, just do it. At the time I had, I think, like, maybe like 5 years in, I was like, I'm not gonna do this.
Yeah,
like there's so many people.
You had a chance at all.
Yeah, like, you see people who've already done 20 years. Like, I was like, I don't think I'm worth, like, deserving of that. And so, but I did it, I took a shot, and eventually I did get my sentence commuted from 162 to life to 10 years to life by Governor Newsom.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's huge.
And then did you have to go to board to be released, or did you get a release date?
Yeah, so that was right during COVID, and so the next steps was immediately I had to do a psych eval, and then I had to go to the board. So like, when they told me that my sentence was commuted, like, within 6 months I was gonna be going to board.
Oh wow.
And so, like, that was the blessing though, is like walking in it, because I was ready. Like, I always kind of like it's like weird because I never really, and it kind of sounds like I'm gonna contradict myself, but I never really felt like I was ever gonna get out, but I always stood ready just in case.
Yeah.
You know, like I never really believed it, but I was like, I'm gonna have it ready just in case. So I went in front of, I had to do a psych eval. I got a moderate on my psych eval, which is like already kind of like, I don't know if you're gonna be able to go home on a moderate. And I was 25, or I was 24 at the time that I did the psych eval, and then I turned 25, and I went to board and got found suitable my first hearing.
Wow.
Man, what was that feeling like?
Man, it was surreal. Like, it still didn't feel real. Like, they were like, yeah, you're found suitable, but now you're on this waiting period with the governor to see if he's gonna sign off on it or not. And like, that part was like,
stressful.
Yeah, definitely on like.
How long was that waiting period?
I ended up waiting like 100 days.
Oh,
Damn.
wow.
Longest 100 days of your life. Huh?
Longest 100 days of my life.
And to clarify, what is psych evaluation? What is that? So the viewers, like, more or less.
Yeah, so like a psychiatrist, like you sit in a room with psychiatrists and they ask you kind of like similar questions to board, like why did you commit the crime? Like what, like ask about adverse childhood experiences. So they kind of just get into like the nitty gritty of why you committed the crime, but they're looking at it from the lens of like, are you antisocial? Are you a psychopath? You know, like they're trying to break you down from that point.
They want to see what level you're at before they even, like, if they consider to release you or whatnot.
Yeah, because they have to give that recommendation to the board, like, hey, this person is, so they gave me a moderate assessment to reoffend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, man, I can only imagine how you felt when they told you you're going home. Cause I know, like, I wasn't a lifer. I knew I had a date eventually, and when my date came, the night before, I couldn't sleep. You know, like every time I heard the keys from the correctional officer, I was like, oh, here comes my time.
Anxiety.
Come get me. And it wasn't it. It was just like count, you know. And all night I was tossing and turning. But man, as a lifer, I bet yours was even like crazier to think of.
Yeah, nah, for sure. I was like that whole week, like I was just like working myself to, like I was a porter, and so I was just like mopping the whole day room, just trying to like tire myself out. Yeah. And I mean, it didn't feel real, but like that morning, like you get the dress outs, you're sitting in the tank, you start putting the dress outs out, and you start actually getting processed out. Then it gets real, and then getting in that bus, you're still kind of like, like, is it real?
Yeah.
But Scott, you know, Scott Bundy, he came and picked me up, and as soon as I walked out that bus, I seen him. I wasn't even want to say what's up. I'm like, let's just go. I'm like, let's get out of here.
Get out of here.
They might change their mind.
Yeah, like, hold on. They might have forgot something. You know?
Yeah, and also like with that, you also start thinking of about like, man, this is where life begins. You know, this is where I'm a grown man now. I came in as a kid. I'm a grown man now, and I have to work, find a job, fend for myself. What was that process like for you?
Yeah, I think that was like the disadvantage of me not having foresight to think like I was actually gonna go home, is because I think did myself a disfavor by not thinking like, not because people would talk about it like when we were in Ironwood, you know, people would be doing like financial literacy and they'd be doing all these different things to kind of like, this is how you know, do your bank account. I just never really paid attention because I didn't think it was ever going to be a reality. So stepping into it was all very new and it felt very overwhelming. And it is hard. Like that stuff is extremely challenging, trying to, you know, you don't have a co-signer, or if you don't have any history, like it's incredibly hard to get an apartment. Like you have to front load a bunch of money just to even get an apartment if you don't have family or anything.
If you have a record, they look at that too.
Right. Yeah, so a lot of that was like extremely challenging, just navigating, doing basic stuff, right? Like even getting like enrolled for college and stuff like that. All that stuff seemed just
digital literacy and all that too. Like,
right.
You gotta learn all that on your own as you go. I'm still not fully.
Right. You watching the tips?
I gotta go to YouTube and learn all that stuff. Like,
okay. I was fortunate. I came out through transitional housing, so they kind of like pretty much guide you through everything. They'll take you to the DMV, so you get your California ID, and you know,
Medi-Cal, food stamps,
you get your EBT. Which EBT used to come through. And then, you know, but you came home, you weren't on parole or anything, huh?
No, I was on parole. I was in the transitional house, but it was like in the midst of COVID, so it didn't feel a lot different than jail, because they were like, we couldn't go out for nothing. Like it was definitely, we were on lockdown, like, and I didn't have no family or anything, so like I just was not, like nobody was coming to see me. Other people were going like on like weekend passes and going kicking it with family and stuff like that, but I was just learning, meeting people from scratch, basically.
What was your?
How many years you been out now?
I've been home for 5 years now.
5 years.
Yeah.
5 years. And what can you tell us? What is it that you do now?
Yeah. So now I work for the California State Senate. I got an internship about a month and a week out.
Nice.
And I got an internship working in the Senate, and that was surreal too. Like even trying to get dressed up and go riding my bike up there for the first day of work, and it was dope though. Like being in those halls and seeing like where so many decisions that have affected all of our lives are made in that building, and starting meeting some of the champions kind of behind the scenes who have been advocating on our behalf and trying to show people that we're not monsters, trying to show people, you know, what happens if you give somebody a second chance and how many good people that there still are that are stuck in there. That, you know, a lot of legislation, you know, if they just took a shot, you know, and that people could be living the same way that we are, you know what I mean? Still accomplishing things. So, yeah, I started off with the internship, and then I ended up turning into a full-time job 6 months later after the internship. And then, yeah, I've been working there ever since. So I currently work for a senator, and I staff on my legislation, and et cetera.
What inspired you to get into your line of work?
Honestly, at first, it was just like, this was a job. Like, I just needed a job at first. So I was like, and then I think being there and starting to see how much we can move the needle being involved in politics and how much politics affects our lives. And I think coming from a poor community, coming from a poor household, the only like engagement with the system is through like WIC and through EBT and stuff like that, right? And so I never really was taught like the importance of voting and all these things. So I think being in this space, I started to learn how incredibly important it is for us to be in these spaces, for us to be at the table and having these conversations, and, you know, to providing that level of insight. Because, I mean, a lot of the work that I try to look at now is like, how can we front load so that we're not doing all this work at the back end? You know, like what can we do more of in the front so that people aren't ending up in the system and then we're trying to keep people home, you know what I mean? After they've already experienced all this trauma, after they've already experienced all this harm.
Like, let's work with the ones that are closest to the problem so we could get the solutions, basically, that motto.
Yeah, and we see you looking all sharp, man, with the suit. You have to wear a suit every day to work?
Yeah, we got to wear a suit every day when the members are there. We got to be suited up.
I bet that in itself was a trip. Like,
yeah,
when you were starting?
Yeah, I thought, you know, no disrespect, I just thought the only people who wore suits growing up were Jehovah's Witnesses, you know? So I just, you know, like, and I don't say that in a disrespectful way, but it's just that's the only time I ever seen people with a suit where I grew up, you know? Like, it just wasn't something that was normal, or you seen it on TV, but nobody outside did you see wearing a suit, you know?
Was that the first time that you wore a suit for work?
Even in my trial, I didn't have a suit.
It suits you, bro. It's sharp. Thank you.
Yeah,
it's going to be our next governor right here.
That's cool, man. And what are your like 3 to 5 year goals?
Man, 3 to 5 year goals. Honestly, like I'm just in this mode right now where I just kind of have my head down and I'm just grinding and just kind of like just putting in the work and just seeing what, you know, I don't know what opportunities will arise, but I think I'm just trying to put myself in the best situation for whatever can. Nice. I'm married, so hopefully, you know, within the next 3 to 5 years, we'll have some kids. Just kind of on that pace of life where I'm just chilling out. Just want to, you know, build the family. And, you know, I was really scared of it at first, like of the thought of having kids, just because of, you know, stuff that I experienced. And you hear so many stories when we're sitting in groups in prison and stuff like that. But I think I'm at a point where I feel like I've done the work on myself, that I think I could bring somebody into this world and take care of them. And
nice.
They're blessing. You'll never think you're ready, but I've had 2 of my own, and I don't think I was ready, but here I am today, and you get ready, you know, you have to. So they're a blessing, man. So I wish you the best.
Hell yeah, bro.
Yeah, and you moved from SoCal to NorCal.
Yeah.
How has that transition been for you?
A lot of like FOMO at first, right? Like I thought, like I'm watching people on Instagram. I'm like, man, I'm missing out on everything. You know what I mean? Not even like just every like functions and like ARC and all that stuff. I just felt like I was missing out on a lot of that. But I understood that God had me in this lane for a reason, and like I kind of just been leaning into that. Nice. But it definitely has been a challenge. But like I've been able to pull some people up here with me to kind of build out our network and build a solid team. And I've met a lot of solid people since I've been up here. So it's been a blessing, but it was challenging at first. I was like, I wanted to go home every day. Like I just want to go back to the valley. But
do you ever see yourself moving back down south, or is this home now?
I mean, I would love to move back. I'd love to go move like somewhere, you know, Redondo Beach or something, you know. I'd love to have that experience, you know, wake up with that 70-degree weather.
Get you some more sun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. That's awesome. Well, we're honored to have you here. Any last thoughts or any advice that you could share with the youth that are watching, or any words of advice?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, like just like reflecting on life, like I think give yourself grace. I think the most important thing that you can do in life is give yourself grace and understand that like you're not the sum of one mistake. That doesn't determine who you are for the rest of your life. And it's like, I think all of us up here are an example of that. Like we all did something terrible at a point in our life, but we've rebounded from that, and we live our life in amends. And I think, I hope that people don't have to hit the wall that hard to figure it out. Yeah. But at the same time, if you do, you got to show grace to yourself, because if not, then you're just going to keep digging yourself a deeper hole.
Yeah, it's not the end.
I love that.
Yeah, nice.
Awesome.
And before we go too, does anyone here have any questions that they would like to ask?
As well, you
here. One second.
Juan?
And then whoever wants to ask a question.
So mentally, going, thinking about that, because I'm always in my head, and, just facing that difficult time, what helped you stay sane, not becoming mentally institutionalized?
Honestly, I would say just like my faith in God. Like without my faith, like building a relationship with Jesus, honestly, like that's what kept me, because when I didn't have nothing else, I could sit in the cell and pray, and I could journal, and I could write through stuff, because there was days where it was really challenging. Like it was really challenging choosing not to go with the flow. It feels like when you're at the ocean, right? You're at the beach and you're trying to swim out, and you just keep getting knocked back. And in order to like continue through that, I needed that. Like I needed that prayer, and I needed that fellowship that I was able to build. So I think without that, I don't think I would have like mentally, because there was a lot of times where I wanted to crash out. There's a lot of times where I wanted just to go left, and it's so easy to. It really is. Like I've seen that since I've been home. It's so easy just to go left, and it's hard to stay on that narrow path. So that's what helped me stay sane.
No, yeah, because even though I'm not even incarcerated, as you can see, I'm here, but I just go through that mental thing, be in my head, and just sometimes not having the support, whatever, and it's just sometimes it gives a little self-doubt, and I have tried to find God. Try to find him, and I like to say I have, but it's just I haven't fully transitioned over to being spiritually in tune with him, and so like it just sometimes I self-doubt myself, so it's hard, and getting your input on things like that, it helps me. I don't even know the word, but it just helps me realizing things, like to give more thought into. But I appreciate it.
And also, you're not alone. Like you have a community here. You have new brothers here too. So whenever you feel like you need to talk to someone, reach out, you have questions about God, whatever it may be, you feel free to reach out, to anyone.
No, yeah, for sure. It's just that sometimes it's hard to pick up that phone. It's that phone, 1,000-pound phone. So, y'all know how that is.
It's hard to ask for help, but that's when you just got to do it. Just do it, bro. Reach out, especially when you're at the lowest. That's when you reach out.
For sure.
Because one thing I can say is that we've all had help. Like we're not where we're at today because we did it alone. No, we all had a community that helped us. We had God, and that's made all the difference. Truly, I know I couldn't do it by myself. So I'm grateful for my community. So now you got us, like we'll get your number.
That's good. I appreciate it.
Don't feel shy or anything, like we all know what's up.
All right. Thank you.
Who's next?
Hey David, keep it on. I don't got a question, but I do want to say, bro, is that thank you, man, for stepping up and, being formerly incarcerated as a youth too, doing a couple decades. It's easy to get out and just live your best life, but you chose to serve. You guys all chose to serve and to not forget. And just like that man who picked you up, Scott Budnick, he did that for a lot of us, that he came through and cared enough to open up a platform to do this work. And with that said, man, I'm proud of all of you. Thank you, bro, for who you are.
Proud of you too, John.
Thank you so much.
I don't have a question, but I just want to say something. So I just heard how your story and everything, and I just see how you went through it, and you just got out 5 years ago. And my dad, he's actually going through the same thing right now. Like he actually going through the same thing. He waiting for the government to actually write him back to see how it's gonna go and stuff. And he actually got a court date next month. So like hearing your story gave me faith in like my dad and coming home and stuff. So
yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
thank you for
awesome to
sharing
hear.
that.
So I got a question for you. In that little documentary, you were in juvie.
Yes.
So as far as those people that were in there with you, did you like? So when you transferred out, or I'm pretty sure you aged out to go like to the big times, do you have still like contact with them, or like are they doing good in life too? Like are they in the right path now?
Yeah, they're all doing good. We've actually been able to like all speak together. Like Antonio, like if you watch it, like he kind of struggled a little bit. He got out young, and he didn't. Some of the support fell through for him, and so he had some bumps in the road, but he's doing really good now. And same thing for Juan.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So I want to know. I'm like, you doing good? I want to know if they're doing the right thing too.
Yeah, for sure.
Helping out.
Anybody else? Any more questions?
Awesome.
You got one right here. Juan?
It's really not a question. I just want to say, I used to watch you. I used to watch that video, and just to see that you here now and still good, because a lot of people don't make it out for that. That's them situations. Some of them either dead or still in jail. I don't know if I can say that word. My bad. Yeah, but them situations, and the fact that you overcame that, I just salute you even more. I don't really know you like that, but I salute you though.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, man, appreciate you.
Awesome.
Yeah, you know, we had ran into each other there at the Capitol. We were there, Future Fire Academy, doing business with there at the Capitol, and I saw you in the elevator, and I said, man, that face looks familiar. And it's like, you know, like, how does it feel like coming after that film, you know, and being able to show that, like now being able to be on a podcast like this, to be able to share that with other people, like what does that feel like for you to be able to now, like, because now you're paying it forward by your lived experience, you know, through this platform, like, how does that feel for you? I'm curious, like, what is that? Is it almost like therapy, or how does that, like,
Yeah, no, I'm extremely grateful to be able to do it. Like first, it is therapeutic, and I think it's like my living amends. And like I was telling David before we started the podcast, like before we started this episode, is like it's crazy because I remember when I first pulled up, like he was one of the first people I met in Ironwood too, and it's crazy where life will take you, right? And it's like to like the other question before too, like it takes a lot of sacrifice, and I think all these sacrifices feel amazing when you're able to show like yeah, we didn't just get here only because Scott, you know, like invested in our lives. Like we got here because we made a lot of the sacrifices that came with that, right? It's like he didn't just give us a fish, he taught us how to fish. And when you out there, if you fish, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you can be out there for hours and catch nothing. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's boring, or sometimes it may suck, sometimes it's therapeutic to enjoy the route to get there. But for this, like to be able to just like hopefully maybe reach one person is extremely just a blessing. I feel blessed to be able to be in this position, because I'm not the only one. I'm not an anomaly. I'm not special. There's a lot of people who are doing this great work.
yeah, and congratulations on all the success.
Thank you.
All right, bro.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
What's up, guys? I want to say congratulations on all the success that you guys have had. And I know it's been a long journey for me as well. For each one of you, it has been different. We've all had struggles. We've come on top, and we became a great family. What is your greatest success so far that you've been out, and what do you plan to accomplish for the future to each one of you?
I guess I'll start. Man, for me, I'm gonna say my biggest success would probably be getting closer to God. I've been on this path where, you know, I realized that I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for Him. I wouldn't have the people I have in my life if it wasn't for Him. And like, you can't connect the dots going forward. You can only connect the dots looking backwards. And you start seeing how everything like happens for a reason, you know, and man, the fact that we're here having this moment with Jared it's a testimony, and it's not a coincidence, you know. I don't believe in coincidence. So I would say that's my big success. And outside of that, just working in the film industry has been like a dream come true for me, because I've been able to travel for work. You know, I ended up in Australia for 4 months. Never in my wildest dreams that imagine going out there for work where they pay for everything, from my flight, my apartment, my car, my phone. They give me food for groceries. So life has been a blessing after incarceration. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, just a few successes. Definitely, like, getting out of prison was a huge success. I didn't think that was gonna happen. And everything since then has just felt like a dream, from, graduating college to continuing my career, working in the legislature, to getting married. Like, all these things have been like, having my own spot, having my own car, like, all those things are, I think, like, sometimes we can see them as small successes, but they're huge, because a lot of us went in as kids and didn't know if we would ever have those things. So definitely, like, some of those things.
Thank you for that.
I think for myself, definitely freedom. To piggyback on a lot of things they said, just every moment in life. Being able to go to school and graduate and get into the film industry as well, working on shows like Bat Monkey as an on-set dresser. And honestly, one of my biggest, like, I would say, success is this platform that we have, this team that we have. When I was inside, 15 years old, I went in. I came home at 28. But during that time, I didn't have a voice. Like, we could complain all we want, but no one was ever gonna hear us. And that frustrated me so much. And what gave me hope was a documentary, which we just watched. And I was up one night, late at night, in my prison cell, level 4 yard, watching Independent List, came on PBS. And then that's where They Call Us Monsters came out, and they were talking about SB 260. And that gave me hope. And when I saw that, that gave me the confidence to start speaking up. And I made a promise to myself, and I said when I was gonna come home, I was gonna be a voice for those that can't speak for themselves. So when I came home, I got involved with ARC, Anti-Recidivism Coalition. Our mentor, founded that, and I was honored to be able to go and work with them, work in the policy team, and I got to speak on behalf of us being able to vote again. And that right there, when that was presented to me, I was like, this is the opportunity for me to speak up. I went in front of a crowd, and I told them the importance of voting, not just for people that are already locked up, but people in the community too, people that don't know English or have some type of barrier to be able to go out and vote and know what's out there that could help us. So being able to do that, use my voice, and I have this platform, it's like I'm so honored to be around all you guys and just continue this work. My goal is to continue this work and make it big. And yeah, thank you.
I would say my biggest success is being able to provide for my family. I got a wife and 2 kids. My wife is a stay-at-home mom. I got to be the one that works. I got to be the one that provides for them. I got to be the one that shows my kids they're 2 boys, what it's like to be a man. And I got to be the role model for not only them, but lead my family and my wife and my family as a whole, growing with them and growing closer to God with them. I would say that's my biggest success, man, just being able to take care of them,
Thank you guys for everything, and I appreciate it. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Being a Seahawks fan isn't a big success right now.
That's not a great success. That's just because you win a Super Bowl. That wasn't it. No,
it's not a big deal like that.
I can't give that one.
He's retracting his statement.
I'll still take the fact that we fumbled the ball on your yard line a long time ago, bro. That was our ring. Now I'm playing. What I really wanted to say, I think Jared touched on it best. The truth is, man, the state of where juvenile justice is at right now, like, not a lot of people see it. Young people do a couple years for the same crimes that people went away for with life sentences. And mine is just to commend everybody sitting up there for the fact that you trailblazed for where we're at now in 2026. And the fact that young people now get opportunities to come home, they get a chance to transition, and all that is thanks to you guys. Also, there was a guy in the back that wanted me to ask, what was the hardest struggle that you guys had?
Who was that?
Coming out. I can't tell. I don't name names, bro. I just look. I just look in the courtroom.
The hardest struggle, I think, coming out was, I was very institutionalized, so I had a lot of insecurities. Like, I wasn't familiar with the outside world. So, like, I didn't know how to ride the bus. Like, I don't know anything really but being inside. And when I did like come out and started taking the buses to school, I will constantly like look around because I felt like people were watching me, but in reality, no one was even tripping on me. So just overcoming that little by little with time gave me the confidence to like start believing in myself. So I feel like that overcoming being institutionalized.
Cause you were in there, what, 14 too, right? Like,
Yeah, I got incarcerated at the age of 14, and I came home when I was 27. So I pretty much grew up in that system, and that was my world for a long time. So coming home as a grown man, you know, like not having an actual job ever, I had a lot of insecurities, but you know, everything worked out. Everything worked out, and we're in a good place now.
Yeah, I think some of the challenges, like I said, like trying to get housing post the transitional house, just not having any rental history. They're like, where you been the past 8 years? Like, you don't have anything to show nowhere. Like stuff like that is just was a huge challenge. And trying to navigate some of these systems, you know, like Project Rebound, shameless plug, like definitely very helpful. Just navigating college, because that's also like extremely challenging just to get into looking at filling out these forms, doing your FAFSA, all this stuff is so hard. So I think that was like another challenge. And then I think like just like a silly challenge, but very real, is like just trying to like buy clothes, and for so long only having a few different.
We'll let them pass by.
The train's coming through right now. Sorry about that.
I would say like another.
And this too shall pass.
No, it's chow time. Come on, guys.
Yeah, another thing, like just like shopping, you know, like it was overwhelming going into like aisles, whether it's for clothes or food, and just seeing all these options. Like that was like extremely overwhelming, to be honest. I didn't know how to cook anything outside of rice bowls and burritos, like, and I like it was hard. Like it was hard to learn those things.
We also did a spread episode,
we did a
so
couple
you guys should check that out. Little prison food we made. I think one of my challenges was definitely going to like order food for myself. I would go in like McDonald's or something like for the first times, and I'll look up at the menu and I'll be like, holy shit, so many options. Like, what should I pick? I would literally just stand there, and then finally when it's my turn, like I'll have anxiety to even pick it. I'll just be like number 3, not knowing really what it was. But I think the other one was also trying to acquire a job like these guys. It was so hard because not a lot of jobs are going to give you opportunity if you have a record. So that was one of the main ones. I actually recall like my first time applying to a job. It was a warehouse job. And they were like, yeah, we're going to give you the job. And then they send me an email say, we would like for you to answer these questions. You know, do you have any records or anything like that? And they offered me the job. I went to the place. They offered me the job. Like, yeah, you can start on Monday. Email comes in Saturday. I do it. And then they're basically telling me don't come in because of my record. And that was like the most heartbreaking. Like it broke my heart so much that I was going to go back to what I was doing. But I was strong. I had people. I had good support. And, here I am now.
I would say my toughest challenge, aside from like being institutionalized and the stuff that comes with being in jail for an extended amount of time, I would say taking the leap to move out to LA. I paroled to a small city called Tulare. If you don't know where that's at, it's probably like an hour from Fresno. So I paroled there. I was there for 5-6 months, and while being incarcerated in fire camp, I met Scott Budnick, and he told us about me and my boy about this film program that they got out in West LA and at the college. And so I had a big decision to move out here, and I was lucky enough to have Scott Budnick and ARC and other organizations like Amity that hooked me up with the transitional housing Magnolia through ARC. So 6 months after being out, packed all my stuff. I was staying at my dad's. Moved out to LA with my boy. He was another one. He was from Fresno. We both came out here for school, and just taking that leap was tough for me because I was comfortable where I was at, and it's easy to stay where you're comfortable, you know. So I'm glad I took the leap though because it was successful. Yeah.
Now he works for Let's Make a Deal and The Price is Right.
Yeah, now I'm in the union, completed the school program, work for Let's Make a Deal, Price is Right, moved my family out here, moved my kids out here, and so far everything's been great, and I'm blessed. Thank God for everything.
Thank you.
Thank
I still struggle with all those issues, and I'm 3 years out.
Hey, you gonna make it, brother.
You're gonna make it, brother. Stay strong.
Tight.
Stay strong, brother. We believe in you.
Anybody else? Any more questions?
And cool.
What about for the guys in jail? Is there anything inspiring words for them? Any inspiring words for the guys in jail listening to this? Something to inspire them to, push them forward, to get them to think, to change their ways, to do something positive?
Yeah, I say, like you mentioned earlier, like one mistake doesn't define you, and also it's not the end. At some point you will and can come home. So start thinking about what you want to do when you come home. Being there right now is temporary. It's not going to last forever. So always remember that.
Yeah, definitely. And I would say too, like however you live in there is going to be how you live when you come home. So if you want to stay in there, then live your life accordingly. But if you want to come home, start living and start breaking some of those habits. Start diving into things that like we have. It's been really inspiring to see the people who've come home, and we're spread out all over the place in different careers. So really anything you want to do, like it's so crazy. I remember when I first went to jail, people who were going home, they were talking about they were going to be truck drivers, and that was like the only thing that people would talk about is I'm going to be a truck driver, and then I'm going to have a few trucks, and that was the dream. That was like, that was going west for the American dream. And now it's like you could literally do anything. You could do whatever it is you want, whether it's fire, whether it's coding, working in the film sets, working in politics. You could do whatever you want to do. And so I think, dream big is what I would say. Dream big.
Yeah, I think, dream big. There's a bunch of possibilities and opportunities out here to do. I would say just prepare, make a plan. And when you get here, you're going to have a whole community to help you. We have bunch of organizations that do a lot of reentry work, so be open to that, and just prepare and also when you do come out here, just take it easy, don't rush anything, let things come as they come.
I would say, they basically touched it all, but if you're in there with no hope right now, look at us four up here. We were all in the same position as you at some point. We all had no hope, facing life sentences, long years, whatever the case may be, and we thought we couldn't do it, and here we are, So if you have no hope, just we're the testimony of that it is possible,
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And with that, we want to conclude our podcast. Thank you guys for your time. Thank you guys for being here today, and thank you, Jared, for sharing your testimony with us, man. It's truly a blessing and an honor to hear it every time.
Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you all you guys too.
Before we cut in, can we take a group picture with everyone here?
Yeah.
Don't cut.
Come on. Everybody come up.
And that is technically not a cut.
Yeah, just get in.
Should they sit?
Sit down. Crouch down.
He's coming on next week, huh? Right there.
Stay tuned next week. We got John Cesario on.
John Cesario.
Hell yeah. Let's go,
Now
man.
you cut it, Jim.
Thank you for being here, bro. Appreciate you, man.
Nah, Mike's with Latino Justice Coalition. Yeah.
You cut the line?